All right, well, thank you for inviting UiPath to present today. My name is Mike Fannon. I'm a pre-sales technical consultant with UiPath. So I've been with UiPath for the last 3 years. I've been 20 years in the process business with companies such as OpenText, FileNet, IBM, Kofax, Visagie, and most recently UiPath, working around process automation and process optimization. So anyway, I want to talk to you today a little bit about UiPath and our end-to-end automation. So I will also shut my camera off here and get moving. So in today's world, I think one of the things that we're seeing is that the CIO role is evolving. Historically, CIOs maybe have been, more, technical geeks, I guess, if you will, working with engineering or development departments. But now they are becoming more strategic and more important to the business. They really need to be able to tie in the business and IT and everything in order to have a unified strategy to be able to help a company excel in this digital age. So I think one of the biggest thing that people are looking at is digital transformation, and the CIOs are sort of the, been charged with doing digital transformation. You can see here that, digital transformation is becoming more and more important, at least according to spend, year by year, where we're going to have 2.3 trillion in spending this year. Certainly, as a part of digital transformation, I think that the challenges that are present are, some fairly common challenges that we've seen. Technology and process optimization. You've got technical debt, legacy systems that you have to deal with. You have to deal with, growing company with having no more resources. Outsourcing, security and privacy, for on-prem, cloud, that sort of stuff, governance, self-service, compliance, regulations, and SLA. There's, those traditional things. I think one of the other things that is really becoming more prevalent is your digital workforce. And so with the great resignation, employee attrition, and those sorts of things, lack of candidates, we're finding that we're having an increasingly hard time to even get people to fill the roles that we have available to fulfill our digital transformation. But we know that digital transformation, if done correctly and done successfully, can be a competitive advantage. So, certainly around achieving operational excellence, we know that IT is always going to be a foundation of these efforts, and IT and the business need to work together to smoothly roll some of these out. In accelerating digital solutions, a 36-month implementation and multi-year ROIs are certainly something that are a historical thing nowadays, and we need to turn things around much more quickly and have much quicker return on investment. Enhancing employee and customer service, certainly we want to not only increase customer satisfaction, but become more proactive instead of reactive. So certainly with UiPath and where we come into the picture is with RPA. So RPA, or robotic process automation, I don't know how, it's certainly a buzzword in the industry these days. Is something that's been around for a number of years, and even for quite a few years. When it started out, it is just screen scraping and more, rudimentary types of things way back when. But anyway, what RPA is a software program which can emulate humans work on a desktop. So if you think of all your employees who are doing a lot of swivel chair work, opening a spreadsheet, entering data from the spreadsheet into an application or things like that, a robot can be trained to do that. Now, typically, RPA programs, focus on fairly redundant tasks, fairly simple tasks that are rule-based and repetitive. They're very, task-oriented around structured data. So fairly simple types of process that get executed over and over again. And as you can see, they can certainly do lots of things anywhere. Really anything that a human can do on a desktop, they can do. You can move files and folders around, copy and paste, email, fill out forms, scrape data from sites, all those sorts of things. So I sort of like to want people to think of RPA, not as just a software program, but you think of these digital robots as a digital employee and a digital workforce to help you augment and fill in places where you need help within the business. Now, certainly RPA is very important and can do a lot of work, but it needs to be surrounded by an end-to-end platform in order to complement it and enable you to scale a automation program and make it successful. So certainly the UiPath platform is sort of surrounded the core automation from robots with a few pillars here. We see a discovery pillar, which allows you to discover things that can be automated to help you track your automations and run them through a automation lifecycle. We have tools to help build, with low code, no code, drag and drop building of automations for robots very quickly. We have a set of management tools that help to manage and deploy your digital workforce. And I will say, the deployment can be on-premise, it can be on the cloud, it can be hybrid. Certainly what we're seeing is a tendency for companies to go cloud first, but we can work with any combination of on-prem and cloud. We're pretty much have parity on both of those. We also have a lot of work around engagement between robots and people. So a lot of times you may have a robot running and have an exception. We have a lot of tools to make it easy for a robot to pass something into an inbox for a human to look at and answer a question, do an approval, and then send it back to the robot. Or things like chatbots to do self-service and have robots behind there doing those sorts of things. So that's sort of, the set of things that we're surrounding RPA with in order to make it even more successful. And of course, around all of that, we have a full set of analytics and governance capabilities all through the life cycle. And so a couple of things that just draw out here in these next few minutes is around some of these capabilities is the ability to discover, upskill, and test as a result of some of these capabilities within the end-to-end platform. If we take a look at discovery, process mining is certainly one of those complementary tools for RPA. Typically, people will start on things like order to cash in finance and run process mining. Now, the first thing I'll say is process mining is not a one and done type of operation. Process mining can be a continuous thing such that not only can you discover bottlenecks and areas that need optimization and automation, but you can also continually run it and actually proactively interact with the business to help things move through. And so as a result of process mining on my order to cash, I might find a few things like manual orders being accepted through email or a bottleneck for employees. I may find that credit holds are ordering are stalling the order process, which impacts DSO. I may find that there's lots of changes in the item quantities of the original purchase orders and orders in order to, those changes are causing efficiencies and also impacting DSO. We also see, customer inquiries and those types of things, and maybe even bugs that are impacting our order to cash process. And so what we can bring to bear on some of these are, certainly we have our AI center, which allows robots to read a mailbox, to be able to understand what the email is. I can be passing it to, a unattended robot who will use our document understanding to extract the data from it. And if it has any questions, it can pass it to a human, or it can do straight through processing to move it down the line. When we take a look at credit holds, certainly we can actually use process mining to immediately identify those credit holds that, and rather than waiting till the end of the month to find out that something is on hold, we can actually use our action center to pass information to people in finance to make them aware of things like that, or even automatically increase credit in order to reduce any wait times for that process. When it comes to changing item quantities and things like that, process mining can actively, operationally identify those as a continuous thing and be able to flag those and pass those to a human for processing, rather than, again, waiting till the end of the month or waiting till other things show up in order to increase the process. We also provide, when it comes to like customer inquiries on where their orders are and things like that, we have chat bots that will allow you to provide self-service without having to have people behind that. Of course, we can do warm transfer to things that we may not have automation for to automatically do. We also have UiPath testing capabilities in order to increase the stability of the order to cash process, fix bugs, and more proactively find things when we're making changes to systems and things like that. When we take a look at upskilling, so what I would say is your robot is like your digital workforce, and just like your human workforce, we need to upskill them, right? We always need to be constantly training them and increasing their capabilities in order to adapt to the times. And so certainly that's what we've done with our RPA. And then I would say this is not your father's robots anymore. Certainly we've done a lot of enhancement in RPA in order to not only are our robots capable of doing mundane, routine, very deterministic work, but we can actually apply AI to them to help those robots extract data from structured, unstructured documents, read emails, read data from different places, and do all sorts of things. And you can actually apply machine learning models and so forth in order to allow a robot to be much more intelligent and be able to handle more undeterministic types of capabilities, so that it extends what they can do as a part of your workforce and the tasks that they can increase. As a part of that, we have of this upskilling, certainly we provide a whole host of out-of-the-box machine learning models to complement through drag and drop AI to do things like document processing. We have out-of-the-box document understanding for invoices, receipts, purchase orders, utility bills, and so forth, passports and ID cards. If you have other documents, we certainly provide the environment to allow you to bring your own documents and train the system and use more than something that's outside of this list. We also have language and analytics for doing sentiment analysis, entity recognition, language translation in order to do things like processing emails, those sorts of things. Language comprehension models, image analysis. We have regression and classification models, all kinds of things. So basically we've created a framework such that not only do we provide out of the box machine learning models, but if you have your own predictions or other types of things that you want to bring to the table, you can roll your own and bring it into our system, and we can let our very quickly operationalize those models in order to build them into automations very quickly. And then finally, as a critical part of an end-to-end process and scaling RPA, UiPath has actually jumped into the testing arena. And so not only do we provide testing capabilities for the automations that you're creating, but we also can provide testing for any other applications that you may be building for IT or for internal customers or external customers. We can do testing of mobile apps, we can do API testing, we can do application testing, and basically there's nothing that we cannot test. And so the one thing that we want to stress, and as a part of RPA, a lot of times when people are automating, they don't think of RPA as, a standard software development methodology. And certainly, just like anything else, it needs to be tested, and it needs DevOps, and it needs all sorts of things in order to integrate it into the IT environment so that you can do continuous testing, so you can do automated promotion from development to QA to test to UAT to production, and providing test capabilities in order to head off any production outages or bugs and those sorts of things. And so UiPath is providing test as another piece of the end-to-end portfolio for doing process automations. And so we sort of recommend that when you're selecting RPA, that not only can you do RPA, but you can also incorporate many other technologies and bring it into your environment and work within all the applications and environment that you have today in order to integrate everything together. So certainly, we believe that UiPath automation, as a cornerstone for a digital transformation program, can help with the CIO to do, achieve operational excellence, accelerate digital solutions across the enterprise, and of course, enhance customer experience. So with that, I know we've only got 20 minutes. There could be a lot of questions. I haven't looked to see if there's anything in the chat, but we have a couple of minutes that maybe we can take a few questions.